It's the Daily Dispatch in discussion with Daron Mann.
The Daily Dispatch in discussion today with the Canna Club. The Canna Club, listen to this, has thousands of people signed up for their Stokvel to enjoy a wide range of locally grown cannabis. The farm plants a weed tree whenever a new member signs up and lets members make donations towards the operational costs to take some home. This private club has managed to use the law to its advantage, legally creating a loophole system to pursue their passion for cannabis production and farming. We've got Bertie from Jaarsveld from the Canna Club joining us today. Morning, Bertie. How are you?
Good morning, Daron. I'm excellent. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks for taking the time to give us a call and to cover the story. It's excellent to get the media coverage on this topic.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just not sure where to start. Let's talk about the legal angle first. It's all legal, 100%.
Yes, so we've got some cooperation from local municipalities. Everything we do is completely transparent with local authorities and so on. We have everything transparent available online. Our stance with the authorities are, if we are doing anything wrong, tell us where we go wrong. So we do it in conjunction with the current laws which are available, which is basically based on the 2018 Concord ruling, where Russ Gareth Prince, that case, it was declared legal for an adult in South Africa to possess and cultivate cannabis in private for their own personal consumption. And that we just took and applied the right to freedom of association. So what you can do in private, you can also do in a collective. So that's how we came up with the model. It was formalized in 2018, and it kind of just evolved on there. The latest rendition of our constitution is available online, and that was composed by an attorney which specializes in the cannabis field, Brett Pollock, and he helped us to set up this beautiful constitution which clearly defines all the legal aspects of the club operations.
Talk us through the actual operation, how people sign up and how the administrative side of things work. Because I see the word Stokvel has been included in various press releases.
Okay, beautiful. So what happens is, if you're a member and you're interested in coming to the Canna Club and accessing the Stokvel, you first thing is you have to visit us in person. There's no online memberships available. So everything happens on site. So a member visits our clubhouse, and then one of our clubhouse managers, which are available, will first ask them whether they're a member or not. If they're not a member, we'll ask them to present us with their ID, and then they'll fill in a membership form, which is an agreement between the member and the club that they give us permission to cultivate cannabis on their behalf here at Donkey Park on the estate. And then that goes towards a collective Stokvel, which all the members own collectively. And whenever the members visit the club and they want to withdraw from that Stokvel, they reimburse the club with the plant management fees. And that gets distributed towards the key service providers of the Canna Club. So we've got 4 core service providers on the management committee. So that is our CEO, we've got a CFO, which handles all the finances. We've got a GM, which handles all the club operations. And then I am the PRO, the public relations officer. I'll handle all the media and so on. And then furthermore, we've also got some empowerment service providers where, for example, our clubhouse, we've got Black Joint, that's Sian Kosi, where they started off with a 3-month training program where we provide them with the training and education to become bud tenders and clubhouse managers, whereafter we gave them the full contract and a 10% share of the Canna Club to handle that part of the operations for us. Then we've also got the Scissor Sisters, which is a very exciting initiative, which is focused on single black moms from the deprived communities to create an opportunity for them where they process and package all the produce of the members' Stokvel.
How many members do you have at the moment?
At the moment, it's around 2,600. It's just over 2,600. And these members are from all over the world because Plettenberg Bay is a tourist hotspot. So it's always been renowned for its beautiful beaches and its idyllic scenery. So we have a lot of tourists coming in and out, and also this time of the year, there's a lot of people from the cities coming to, like from Joburg and from Cape Town, just to enjoy the how can I say, it's not so laid back anymore, but just to enjoy this side of the country, you know. And those people, we see a lot of them passing through here.
Bertie, now you've mentioned Plettenberg Bay. That's where you are at the moment. Any plans to expand?
Yes. See, so the Canna Club is an NCOD-based club. Although it's not an NCOD-registered club, it complies to the NCOD principles. And one of those principles are that we can't franchise. Although we support all other cannabis clubs and the advancement of all cannabis movements, we have no plans on franchising. What we do have planned though is Black Joint for them to open the first, how can I say, well, not the first, they are already, but the first in Plettenberg Bay, the first Black-owned private social cannabis club. So to get it more in, how can I say, move it more towards the informal settlements as well, because they don't always have the transport or the means to come out all the way to the club, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So, we do plan on, in a couple of months or next year or so, expand on that project and take Siankosi to open a new clubhouse under the Black Joints umbrella.
Plet Rage in Matric. Has that created any challenges for you?
Not specifically. Look, we've got all the systems in place to protect our rights and the members' rights. As I say, before members sign up, they have to present us with identification. So that is a very strict policy. We can't have any under 18s visit the clubhouse. So there's no minors allowed because of South African legalities around cannabis. So if we get students here and they're over 18, that's cool. Then they can sign up. It's not specifically a challenge. It's just business as normal.
In addition to growing cannabis for consumption, smoking, do you venture into other territories as well?
Look, the hemp story is a little bit of a challenge for us because our climate in the garden route is so well suited for, how can I say, for recreational cannabis. As soon as you start planting hemp and so on, we do outdoor. So if you do hemp, that will severely affect the quality of the crops that we are currently busy with because as far as I understand, hemp is a male plant and that will pollinate the female plants, and then you'll get seeds and your THC in your product and everything will start to deteriorate. So hemp isn't something that we've looked into. What we do is like local, how can I say, local entrepreneurs that do all kind of holistic products. We do support them and try and stock as much of that at the club as possible. For example, we have got a lady here staying on the farm which does some beautiful medicinal mushrooms. Just to make it clear, that's not magical mushrooms with psilocybin and all that in, but it's like turkey tail, cordyceps, chaga, lion's mane, reishi, and all that. And we've got that available at the club. So we do try and extend that holistic experience. Furthermore, we've collaborated with local Rastafarian communities to, in an attempt to propagate traditional medicinal herbs, like they've got the buchu and the kankerbossie and all those indigenous herbs that we have, which is highly beneficial. We see a lot of potential for that in the future as well. So we want to eventually reach a point where we can propagate that on the farm as well. We have provided a section of the estate specifically for that. Although it hasn't materialized yet and so on, we've got all the plans in order and so on. But that's also where we look at going is like the traditional medicinal herbs. As I always tell people, cannabis is a holistic experience, but it starts off with cannabis. It doesn't have to end there. There's such a huge array of natural remedies available, and that's the beauty about cannabis. Once people start opening up towards that, they start looking at other how can I say,
applications?
Yes, exactly. So there's a lot of options available, but cannabis is our main focus. Our main focus is organic outdoor cannabis. We've also got greenhouse cannabis, but we don't do any indoor, because what we try and do is to keep it as cost efficient as possible with as high quality as possible. So everything gets done organically. The cultivators use techniques like vermiculture, where we have our own worm farm on the estate. All the nutrients gets made on the estate. They implement a technique called Jaarsveld farming, which was founded in South Korea. It's basically just a method of utilizing nature to keep it as cost efficient as possible, and to put as much life into your soil as possible. So they always joke and say that they're not actually farming cannabis; they're farming soil. Because if the soil is happy, then the trees are happy.
Bertie, now you've mentioned more than 2,600 Canna Club members as we speak. Talk me a little through the production process. Do you use hydroponics? Are there different methods used? How much care and attention do these plants require? 2,600 people are quite a lot.
Okay, yeah. So when the members sign up, they agree that we cultivate one tree on their behalf in the member stockpile. So we've got several cultivation areas which gets handled by our cultivation service providers. That's Green Horizon and Shiva Subcontractor. Everything happens on site, and as I mentioned, we've got several cultivation areas here on the estate. The one is an outdoor grow patch called the Garden with Eden, which is a 350 plant patch, and that is seasonal. That only happens this time of the year. So we'll start planting before the full moon in December. So we just planted last week, and then we'll veg out to about February, March, and then start flowering. And then it's another 2 months of flowering, and then all the product gets dried and cured, which is another 2 months. So the whole process essentially is a long process. It's a 9-month process. And then we've also got the greenhouse area as well. We've got 2 greenhouse areas which house about 50 plants each. So even though the members sign up for one plant, to give us permission to cultivate one plant per member, we can't have 2,000 trees here. It's impossible. So we just use those areas that we have, and then that gets added towards the stockpile, and then that is available at the clubhouse at any time for the members to withdraw from.
Do you have an idea of how many members you can accommodate? Is there an upper limit or a ceiling on this?
Initially, we did have a limit on our members, but that's not something we really focus on, due to the reason that our members are highly seasonal. As I just mentioned earlier, a lot of the members come from overseas or from the cities, and we always have a capacity to accommodate them. We've reached a nice equilibrium where there's always enough stock available to accommodate for the members. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that's a little bit of a difficult question. I wouldn't say there's a limit on the members that we can have. But if members are inactive after 6 months, we'll just take them off the system. I don't know if I made this clear. There's no membership fees involved as well.
Bertie, I'm curious. Do you grow the new trees from seeds, or do you do something like cloning?
Okay, beautiful. That's a very, very good question. So we do get seeds when we do pheno hunting, when we try and get our strains that we want to work with. So at the moment, we are cultivating 45 different strains. and we're going to bring that down to 20. What we do is we have our mother plants. So now we've got our 20 strains that we want for this season, for the 2023 season. We've got our mother plants, which we then take clones from. And it all gets grown from clones, where those clones go to a vegging room with supplemental lighting to make sure that they don't flower, to keep them in the vegetative state all year round. Because remember, cannabis is a photosensitive plant. The light cycle determines its stage of its life. So if you're going to have 18 hours of sunlight and 6 hours of darkness, then it will remain in a vegetative state. So how we achieve this is actually a beautiful way, cost-efficient way, because we've got 10-watt lights. I think there is 24 of them. And so it's a total of 240 watts. And that runs on a timer to keep these plants in the vegetative cycle throughout the year. And that nursery area can house 800 plants because the vegging plants are slightly smaller. So yeah, but then from the vegging area, once it's flowering season, we take them out of the nursery area and move them to the outdoor grow patch or to the greenhouse area where there won't be supplemental lighting, and they'll be introduced to the 12-hour light, 12-hour darkness, which will trigger the flowering. So, yeah, to answer your question, it all happens from clones. But essentially, those clones have to come from somewhere, you know. We get the seeds from, we try and support as many local breeders as possible. Yeah, we can give a shout out to Black Flag Genetics there. They provided us with some beautiful genetics. We also do some international genetics. We basically, our cultivators scout out for what the best strains are for the season and which were the best strains from the previous season. And now with these 20 strains, we'll take the best 15, the weakest 5 we'll take out and replace it with new. We'll experiment with some new strains.
Well, it's all very interesting. We wish you all the best going forward. And thank you so much for chatting to us on the Daily Dispatch in discussion today. Bertie van Jaarsveld from the Canna Club.
I really appreciate that. Thanks for your call.
That was the Daily Dispatch in discussion with Daron Mann.